Hello everybody. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I've posted another video. Don't really have an excuse other than just I've been really afraid to come on here and speak what's on my mind, because I know one day my family is gonna see this, and if not, they're gonna see it in a different way that's gonna be, different, and gonna have a bigger audience. And I'm afraid of the retaliation, the bad things they'll say. And sorry if I look a little weird. I'm on a walk, or I was on a walk, so I have a waist trainer and it looks a little weird. But I hope all of you are doing well. You guys are safe. You guys are taking the time to heal, to face yourself, even when it's scary, even when it's hard, it's confusing. But lately I feel like it's been like that lately. My head has just been like in a shitstorm. You know the static visuals on TVs, or like the old TVs. My brain has been feeling like that, but more chaotic, I would say. And it's been making me feel paralyzed and just stuck. But I wanted to come on here to talk about the signs, the things I've been kind of going through. I mean, nothing much has changed. I'm still living with my family, just keeping to myself, trying to listen to God, the universe, my intuition, just working on myself, and just waiting for the green light, because I've been wanting to move out. I've been wanting to start my life again. But it feels like everything around me, like all the opportunities I can have to go out there, make money, or to put myself out there, to make videos, all of that is like closing in. Like the doors are closing, the lights are shutting off one by one. So I'm trusting that this is just a time for me to face myself, face my fears. Because where I'm going, where I want to go, I'm not going to bring my fears with me. I don't want to. I don't want to hold myself back. I don't want the past. I don't want my family to hold me back. And that's the thing. I know partially why I'm here with my family again is to show that I can handle this. I can, and I can get what I need to get by seeing things differently than I did before. Because the last time I lived with my family, I was very, suicidal, and it was like everything was kind of closed off for me. I was in a state of fear and panic, and I say right now, I'm afraid, and I'm like so confused, But back then, shit, it was a nightmare. My mental mind, my emotional body, I was just on edge the whole time. My emotions were just off the walls. I was so depressed. And I wanted to take my life. And back then I got in trouble for, because back then I was in high school, and this was COVID, so I had a counselor online, and I told her I was feeling suicidal, and had to tell my dad, and my dad we had a family meeting, but it was really more of an interrogation, and me being scolded for telling the counselor that I was feeling suicidal. I remember him saying, like, you just activate the whole school system, right? And just putting me down for letting them know that I needed help. Sorry, talking about my family, it's hard because there's a lot of stuff that has been said, stuff that has been done to me, and the things that I've tried speaking out about, I've been retaliated against so hard, like on both sides of family. And it's so weird because the history of my family is both sides, they kind of just don't like each other. And it's so strange that on my mom's side, they're abusive and tricky in their own ways, and in my dad's side, they're abusive and tricky in their own ways too. The ones that I've dealt with. But, in some way, even from people from the other side have tried to find ways to get me I'm sorry, to get me to not share, to not make it seem like we have a problem in our family. And that's the thing, people are willing to go out of their ways to save their own skin, to hide their own truth. And I hate that. For a long time, I've always been caught in the middle of it and been part of it in some way, thinking like, oh, well, I need to protect this person and stand against this family member. Thinking like, oh, well, this one is good. Just my whole life, I've wanted a true family, a true connection. At the time, my grandma had guardianship of me and my twin brother. So I would hear things from her about my dad that I don't even know if they're really true. I don't know. And, I would go see my dad, and he would talk stuff about her, and they would just, one person on both sides just telling me things. And at one point I went on, grandma's side, being like, oh yeah, dad's the bad guy. One time I went on dad's side, thinking like, oh yeah, grandma's the bad side, or is the bad guy. But I'm seeing now, it's both families are not good. And the sad thing is that a lot of them are so in their ego, they're so in their pride, they're so in their bullshit that they can't see, they're not willing to see how they play in a part of just this whole fucking fiasco, this whole family drama bullshit, this of why the shit keeps continuing, the abusive behaviors, the put downs. And I don't know, I can't seem to shake that fear of my family retaliating against me. When they've done it before, they've done it many times. They've talked bad about me behind my back. And they've heard the shit I've gone through, and they've never asked me my side of the story. And for a long time, I've always tried making my family see I'm not the bad guy. I'm not trying to cause any sort of emotional disturbance or like fuck. Okay. Pull yourself together. I just want my family to be connected. I want us to be a true family, not what they try to present on paper, you know what I mean? For a long time, I've tried gaslighting myself, because that's how bad I fucking want it. That's how bad I want to be in this fantasy of my family, both sides of my family. They're good. They know what's best for me. They love me, and I know they love me, which is another fucking thing. It's like, I wish the truth, I wish things like this were so fucking simple, were just black and white. It was just this and that, all or nothing, it's just, and I guess that's what makes bringing a little bit, I can't even fucking speak, come on girl, bringing up about my family is very fucking hard, because I've experienced good times with them. I've laughed with them. I've cried with them. They've been there for me in some way. And I wish, I try so hard to just see that, be like, okay, you're just bullshitting yourself. You're being dramatic. You're making shit up. But ever since I was a little girl, I knew that there was something wrong. There was something wrong in the way that my grandma would treat us. There was something wrong with my dad and the way that he would talk to us, and how that would make me feel. And for a long time, like I said, I tried so hard to be part of the family. Tried to see that I am making shit up. They are right. I am being dramatic. I don't know what I'm talking about. I am going through mental health issues. I'm crazy. I am being manipulative. I am being controlling. All these things that my family has tried to portray me as. I wish that I was crazy. I wish that deep down I'm wrong. But the fact is I'm not. And I can't lie to myself. And I haven't lied to myself. Being in no contact with my family, I've really found who I was without them trying to force me or tell me who I am. By what they try to tell me what to do, what not to do, how to live my life, what they say about me. But being back here, it's like all these triggers, these fears are coming up of me gaslighting myself, me trying to, because the truth is I've been gaslighted so much by my family, and not just by my family, but just people who just don't know shit about them, and they take them as face value. And they don't see what I see. Or just not even related to the family situation, but just friends, people who I've had some sort of feeling about, but they try to lie to me. I'm not cheating on you. You're crazy. And it's funny, I've grown up believing that my emotions aren't shit. My feelings are irrelevant. They're you're fucking sensitive, dude. Like, grow the fuck up. And I've carried that with me for a long time. And because of that, I unknowingly fucked myself over. Where I've betrayed myself. I've always seen that my emotions were a bad thing. And I've tried so hard to be not emotional. Tried to be non-emotional like my dad. Like the emotionally unavailable guys I was attracted to. Because subconsciously I really wanted to be loved by my father. So I was thinking, if I get these emotionally guys to love me in the way that's emotional, then I will feel whole, I will feel complete, I feel like my dad loves me, or I can, I've cracked the code, I have the answer, I know what to do to make him love me. But I didn't see that my greatest gift is feeling my emotions. But it took a long time to really... It took a lot of hard lessons. It took a lot of facing myself in the mirror to really understand the depth of my emotions. They're more than just anger and sadness and me having a bad day. part of listening to my emotions has been trusting myself. And trusting myself is trusting my intuition, trusting God, trusting the universe. I was never meant to be my dad. I was never meant to be anyone but me. And I'm a very emotional person. I feel things that I don't even know how the fuck I managed to feel other people's emotions, like way deeper than just like, oh yeah, I can tell your side. Because I don't know why, but when I try to like read people at face value, I notice most of the times I can't, unless people are lying. But usually, I don't know, I really have to just, oh, cute little bug. I really just have to, I don't know, sometimes I think of a person, or I have visions, like I'm daydreaming, and I'm actually seeing someone else's life, something that they've gone through, or something that they're feeling, and I wonder, like, why am I feeling this? Why am I going through this? And then, someone ends up talking about that. Someone, I end up seeing someone's pain or what they're going through, and I haven't heard from them in a long time, or I haven't talked to them yet. This has been my greatest gift, and I've let people take that away from me. I've let myself take that away, because for a long time I felt like I just don't know what I'm talking about. My family, there's so many people having a bad reaction to the shit I'm trying to talk about, the shit that I see, so there must be something wrong with me. But there isn't. And I had to be away from my family to know who I am, to know my truth. And the fact that coming back years after not being with my family, just so, I can grieve with them over the death of my oldest brother. I was hoping that the death of him and me coming back would make them see, like, we need to actually face our emotional problems. We actually need to face the trauma that we have gone through, the trauma that's still within us, so we can actually be a family, not what we try to show others, not all the surface level bullshit. Because, and I'm not saying that I'm not happy being with like, I am. I love watching movies with them, I love laughing with them, but I gotta be honest with myself that this isn't what a family is about. Being a family is more than just being there for the good times. It's actually seeing that, we all have problems, we all have issues, and we're gonna take the time and effort to help each other out, to help ourselves out, so we can make this family connection stronger. And for a long time, my dad has kind of always put it in my head that I'm the one living in fantasy land. But a few months ago, I realized that he's the one actually living in fantasy land, trying to portray us as a happy family, when we're actually pretty broken. No one is willing to admit their faults. No one's willing to admit how they get in the way, how they affect others. And it drives me insane. It drives me insane. How people will choose their pride and ego over family. People will choose their pride and ego, their fears, over a real connection. You know, that's what I want in life, a real fucking connection. As much as I meet every person and I want to see the depths of their souls, I want to see who they really are. But the fact is, not everyone's ready for that. Not everyone is willing to be as open and vulnerable as I am. You know? The only one that I have really been, we've just been so vulnerable in love and giving love and being honest of like, okay, I fucked up here, like these are my mistakes, like is me and my boyfriend. And but I want that more. I want to I want everyone to be on this train with me, where we're open, really open with ourselves, and it's just reciprocal, you know, us exchanging love, accountability, truth. It's open and it's continuous. That's real unconditional love. You know, I'm not saying that unconditional love is perfect. You know, for instance, like, me and my partner, we have been going through a rough time lately. And we have been, like, snappy at each other. But that's the thing. I'm willing to put my pride and ego aside for him. You know, and he's willing to do the same for me, which is how and why, you know, our love will continue to grow and purify, because even if shit gets in the water, we still take our time to take the bits and pieces, the coloration out, you know, the stuff that stops love from being love out, you know. And the thing is, going back to my family, like, I know my family love me, but I know they don't love me as much as I love them, as much as how far I'm willing to go for them. Because part of love is self-sacrificing, you know. If you really want a true friendship, a true love on both sides, then you have to see how you're getting in the own way. How are you, what habits, what mindset, what emotions, what thoughts, what situations are you in that are stopping, that are kind of like creating roadblocks, or creating, not roadblocks, but roadblocks, creating, you know, discolorations, creating, it's disinfecting the water slowly. And the water is love, it's connection, it's the unconditional flow of love. You know, how are you letting that get in the way? Because, you know, trauma, our fears, our ego, our pride, it does that. You know, and you know, a lot of people don't know, but they think they're loving someone, but they don't know they're not giving it their all. They're not giving it, they're just giving just a little bit, thinking like, and you know, some people really do think that is my all, and you know, okay, you know, but That shouldn't stop you. That shouldn't stop from anyone finding the right people. Because you can't force someone to love you the way that you want to be loved and how you want to love them. Because I've tried talking to my family. I've tried forcing people. I've tried begging people. I've tried lying to myself just so I can stay with people. Just so I can wait for people, hoping that, okay, maybe, they'll figure it out, But it ends up hurting me. And people can be so selfish, People think like, well, that you should stick with them through the bad times, and it's like you have your own life, you understand? You have your own life. That person has their own life. It's not fair for them to take your life, telling you need to stick around, you need to tolerate this, when they're not even taking the time, the effort to understand why do they keep doing this to themselves, which in the end or in return it affects you too, and it frustrates me because like I'm willing to give anyone my 100%, and that's kind of all I've given is my 100%, because I love people. I love people, and I'm willing to self-sacrifice. But the thing is, in order for that to really be reciprocal, someone else also needs to be self-sacrificing and give it their all. It can't just be you. It's not fair, And a part of me has tried bullshitting myself, has tried lying to myself, saying like, you know what, you're asking too much. But I'm not. This should be the bare minimum, or this should be just the basics. And that's the thing, when you grow up through trauma, when you grow up through people who don't know how to love right, don't know how to love from a place that is healthy, that is unconditional, you end up thinking that healthy love, that the equal give and take, the accountability is too much. It's seen as perfection, and I fucking hate that, because so many people in my life that were in my life just, for instance, my grandma, when I told her about the things that she does that hurts me, she says I'm not perfect. And something about that, it really stuck to me, and it pissed me off, because it felt like she was trying to use as like I'm asking too much from her, when I'm willing to do the same for her, and I have. But it's like pouring water into an empty drain, or into a drain. It's just, it goes nowhere other than down. The person doesn't grow from it, learn from it. The person doesn't even take it sometimes, your love, your words. So it's really just investing in nothing. So I'm very closed off. I'm very careful who I give my energy to. But like every day, like with my family, with just everyone, I really, it feels like I'm like the floodgates. Like I just have so much love I want to pour into people, but a lot of people aren't ready for it. A lot of people haven't a lot of people don't know what it's like to sacrifice for yourself for better. To be honest with yourself so you can live your life better, treat yourself better, get better. You know, and it causes me to just hold the love back. But, I don't know, I send it through spiritually and, like, emotionally. But, and you know, that's the thing, you know, the other person has their own challenges, has their own struggles, has their own perception. You know, I've given love to people and they've told me to fuck off, you know, or treated me like shit, you know, and I can't control how they see me. You know, some people, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have thought me being nice and me trying to understand people's bullshit that it's fake. Like, it's, you know, it happens, you know, or it's understandable, you know, it's sad that unconditional love is rare. It's rare for someone to be genuine. It's rare for someone to be authentic, you know, and it makes you feel like people think that's perfection, you know? People, for so long, people have received the bare minimum, thinking that this is the holy grail, this is the best, when it isn't. Even the way you treat yourself. Ew, something smells like pee. Gross. But, I don't know, I want to share this message because this is what's kind of been in my head and the stuff I've been experiencing or reflecting on lately. And what are you looking at? You looking at me? Boy? But I don't know, in a way that I'm grateful. And sorry, I keep looking around because, you know, I'm a woman, so I gotta be aware of my surroundings. And, you know, but in a way, I'm kind of grateful that, like, I've gone through trauma. I've gone through shit that no one should ever go through. But the fact that I didn't let that crap stop me from really finding unconditional love. And the unconditional love I found is within myself. Because all the shit that I left behind, the people, you know, well, some people, you know, they were really good, but, you know, things happen, you fall apart. Not talking about those people, but the people that weren't good for me, the habits that weren't good for me, the thoughts, the mindset, the environments, I did that for myself. I did that because I believed that there was something better. And at that time, when I was a kid, I really had no idea of what true self-confidence looks like. I had no idea of, like, I could ever find someone that loves me and goes as deep as me. You know? Trauma, and I fucking hate it. No one deserves to go through trauma. What my family went through, they don't deserve that. You know, and especially if you're born through that, you know, you just believe that this is it. You know, this is how good it gets, or this is just the top of the ceiling. But, and there's multiple times I want to give up. There's even times now I want to give up, but I keep fighting because I don't want to live the life that my mom lived. I don't want to live the life that my family has gone through, something needs to change. It has to be different. It's got to be different. And I fought for myself even when I had no hope, even when I had nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. And that is proof of how much someone can love themselves, is still pushing on even when you literally have nothing to hang on to. And that's what I want people to take out of this today. Like, you need to keep fighting for yourself. And when I say that doesn't it doesn't always mean, go fucking, military mode and, on your ass and just be like crazy. I mean, you can in certain aspects of your emotions in your life, but you're gonna have to fight for yourself differently. Sometimes you're gonna have to fight for yourself in a soft way. Sometimes it's gonna have to really be like, okay, get the fuck up, keep going. I want everyone to experience the unconditional love that I feel for myself. Because you deserve it. You deserve that fight for yourself. Even if no one has your back. I've had to leave, like I said, I've had to leave my family. I've had to leave people. I've had to be by myself. And that's the thing, sorry, it's a long conversation, but I'm really going now. But in life, we're made to feel like you need to be a part of some social group to feel alive, to feel accepted. And I'm open-minded. Like, I'm willing to connect with others. Like, especially when I was homeless, I connected with gang members and just people with all sorts of different stories and cultures. Like I'm like, sorry, I'm saying like a lot. God damn it. But I love to connect with people. I don't care who you are. Well, if you're like a really bad person, I don't think so. But still, it's fascinating to see into the lives of others and to see like, why did you make those choices? What really, like, why did your life go this way? Who are you really? And I know that scares people. In this world, we're made to, as people, we're made to survive. But now it's not like caveman time. It's more like, how do you socially survive? How are you socially acceptable in this society? Because when you are socially acceptable, you're more likely to survive, and that's kind of deep down part of the human instinct to connect with others. It's how we can get more resources to live, But you need to trust yourself. And I know that's kind of been a repeated message these past videos, but you need to trust yourself. Even when it's scary, even when you prefer to have this life over the one that the universe yourself is calling you towards. It's not for no reason. But you need yourself. Cause I've kind of lost wanting to be loved by my dad. At this point, I'm like, I kind of just don't really care anymore. But back then, like, I wanted to so bad. by my family, but most of all by him. And you know, I realized that the things that I wanted him to do for me, I'd done for myself. Oh, well, sorry, that was too much sun. But, you know, I stuck up for myself. I've listened to my feelings. I've comforted myself. I've made myself laugh. I've been there for myself. I've been there for myself like no one has. Other than my boyfriend. And, but I mean, really, at the end of the day, like, sure, you know, for example, with my boyfriend, he's amazing, and he's godsend, you know, and I know this is the result of when you work on yourself, when you choose to face your truth, when you choose better for yourself, you get better, you know. So I know it's a result from me kind of pulling out the weeds from and cleaning the dirty river, you know. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be with him, to have him every day of my life. But he's not the sole proprietor. He's not the he's not the one that carries me. It's really me, because 24/7 you're with yourself. 24/7 you're with yourself. You know, and at many times, so many people, even myself, we're at war with ourselves. We're our own bullies. We're our own tyrants. We're our own dickheads. We're our own you know. I'm not saying that those times won't happen where you will, you know, feel shit about yourself and your mind will bully you, but you can't take that side. You can't do that to yourself. Like, sure, you know, it's kind of understandable when you really done something wrong and bad and you have to kick yourself in the ass, because we do need that, and, you know, we really gotta give it to ourselves straight up. But you are important, and as much as I would love, you know, to save you, to help you, like, it's not up to me, it's you, you know. And like, no one, the reason why I'm here today, a different person than I was these past few years, is because I chose myself, because I made myself the priority. I'm not saying that I'm not willing to be giving and loving to others. Like, I am all the fucking time. I'm ready, but I have to know when to kind of cut it back with people that aren't willing to go the same mile for me, the same extra mile for me, you know. And there'll be people in your life that'll make you feel shit for not going the extra mile for them, even though they won't do it for you. And that's when you gotta really be strong. You gotta not let their gaslighting, their bullshit, take you away from what you know is right for yourself. You know, when we choose ourselves, when we really go out of our ways to see all parts of ourselves, to really understand ourselves, that's when, one by one, this whole world will really be what it could be, which is just a pure, or mostly pure, loving world from a true place, because we love ourselves first. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Sorry for the sunlight. But yeah, gonna continue my walk now. So please take care. Thank you for listening. Thank you for choosing yourself. Thank you for choosing to face your fears. Thank you, because it also helps other people in the world. It helps for there to be less pain. It helps for there to be less drama in the world. So thank you, and yeah, see you next time.